Welcome. We bid you welcome. John Clauser, Johnny Metal, the Metal Dad, coming to you live from my music corner of the world. And we're going to be talking some Wrestlemania with the man, the myth, the legend, Uncle Meat Hardy, who's going to be whispering in the wind, or he's going to give me a twist of fate. I'm not sure which, but Meat, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. I've been looking forward to this.
Yes.
I see how we're thinking about some of these matches. There's lots of possibilities.
There is. So when we're talking wrestling, you just never know what could come up. I mean, let's go a little Full Metal too while we're at it, right?
Wow, I haven't seen that Pile Driver album in a long time. That is funny.
Oh, well, you know the best, one of the best songs that's on this one, right?
A Land of a Thousand Dances is on there. It should be, or at least it.
That's on the first one. That's on the first one. This is the second one. This is Pile Driver.
Okay.
So my favorite on this one's the Demolition theme.
Oh yes, and we're going to be hearing that. Or wait, are they listed for Hall of Fame?
No, natural disasters are.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, no, natural disasters are listed for the Hall of Fame. So natural disasters, Triple H, Michelle McCool, Lex Luger,
and there's some legendary ones.
And then there's some they're good.
Dory Funk Sr.,
Kamala,
and there was another. I can't remember who it is.
Yeah, I can't think of who the third one is off the top of my head, so I apologize in advance for that. But anyway, so that'll be. I'm not staying up till midnight or 11 o'clock or whatever time it comes on Peacock or Netflix or whatever. So I'm going to be in bed. I will watch it first thing in the morning. But WrestleMania 41. Indeed. So we got 2 nights worth, and I'm gonna go with what is listed on Wikipedia.
Okay.
So at this point, there's only about 11 matches so far per night, or 11 matches. 11 matches total. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 7 matches the first night. 13 matches. Excuse me, 13 matches. 7 and 6.
And you're going to keep track of our picks. Right?
I'm going to keep track of the picks as we go along. So let's start with night 1. And the first match that Wikipedia lists is the tag champs, the War Raiders, going against the New Day.
Now, I personally don't think that's going to be the first match.
Probably not.
The first night. I'll say when that match comes, what I think will be the first.
Right.
Well, I know that there's a couple ways that they could go with this, but I have to look at it like this. The New Day's heel run really has been anticlimactic. They haven't done a lot with it, either promo wise or match wise. Really, I just think there's no real good reason for the Raiders to win. I think it's got to be a New Day win.
Okay.
So I'm picking the New Day, but I will say this. I am a little scared of a possible Big E coming out and screwing them in some way. That is a possibility, but I still say it's got to be it.
Yeah. I mean, my thought about the whole New Day heel turn is when it happened, wow. That was just that I didn't see that coming. I thought either they were going to split up, but man, I didn't think they were going to do Big E the way they did. That was pretty harsh. But then after that, they just have been these they've been acting like these whiny little kindergartners, in the promos and everything else. And it's just like, I don't know. I haven't felt very strong about that. So me, on the other hand, I'm going with the War Raiders on this one. I think I'm going to stick with the War Raiders on this one.
Okay.
I think it's they definitely deserve a WrestleMania moment. And these guys have been in the business for a long time too. and I think they really deserve a big win. I think I'm going to go with the War Raiders on this one.
Okay, well, the first match in, and we're already opposed. I like
Right.
it. Yeah.
Okay, so now we again, I'm going by the order of Wikipedia has, so probably won't be
Yep.
the first match or the next
Yep.
match.
Yep.
Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americana.
Well,
or Chad Gable, depending on who you want to talk to.
Yeah. Yeah. I have no choice, even though I kind of think Chad Gable has been dirtied so much when it comes right down to it. Like, he just hasn't been given the chances and ever. But I got to go with Rey Mysterio, even though I'll be cheering for Chad Gable. But I got to go with Rey Mysterio just for sentimental reasons and what makes sense to me.
To me, Ray's a goat.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got to go with Rey, and I think I wouldn't be surprised if they did something where Chad gets exposed under the mask. So that would not surprise me. But the only way I could see him winning is if he keeps using that metal thing that keeps sticking under the mask.
I heard something about one of the things that could happen is that Rey might end up having something under his mask, and that's how he wins.
Well, now that's a possibility too. So
yeah.
Who knows?
So we agree on that one. Okay. That's interesting. Yeah.
Okay. Next up, Jade Cargill versus Naomi.
And it has Bianca suspended above the ring. Is that right?
No, she's going to be getting ready for night 2. Although I don't think so, unless they've added that they're going to have her in that triple threat with Io and Rhea. So no, she has nothing to do with this match.
Okay,
or at least nothing like that anyway.
Yeah, I don't know where I thought of that, but okay. Well, then I'm not changing my pick, but I'm going to slightly change my circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
The way I see it, okay, Jade Cargill. You hear a lot about her being a problem backstage. There's been whispers of that. There was whispers in AEW, and now there's whispers in WWE. Mm-hmm. And I think Naomi is going to be given the reins here. And not only will Naomi win, but Bianca is going to take on Naomi's side and screw Jade Cargill. I think, because I think that goes well into the Sunday match, which we'll talk about. I see. That's what I see. I think it's about time that Bianca got a true heel run.
Yeah.
I think it's time. So, and one of the ways to do that is to side with a Naomi that people don't like Naomi right now. So
no, and
I'd side with her.
And it doesn't seem like people are liking Bianca all that much anymore either. So I'm kind of going with you on this one. I think something's it's going to be a lot of chicanery, but I think Naomi's going to pull this one out over Jade. This is honestly, this is a match that I really wish, if they were going to have a 3-way women's match, I would have much rather had Bianca in this instead of Io and Rhea, personally.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
I personally would have rather seen those 3 just go at it and just kill each other. I personally don't have a dog in the fight. I'm honestly not a big Jade fan. I never have been. So yes, she looks dynamite, but she's greener than the Incredible Hulk, and I just don't. Although I will say, when she made that run in at Elimination Chamber, that was probably the best I have ever seen her in the ring.
Oh, that was cool.
I will say that.
That certainly made an impact.
Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm. All right. So that's that.
That's another one we agree on. Yeah.
There we go. Okay, let's talk about it. L.A. Knight versus Jacob Fatu.
I have went back and forth on this one several times, and it's probably because I keep watching things and they're all different.
Right.
I have no choice but to pick my winner as Jacob Fatu. I want him to win. He deserves to win. He is maybe the best thing in the whole damn company right now.
Yeah.
Now, I've heard a lot of rumblings that there's a good chance that that one of the new bloodline is going to screw Jacob Fatu, and that is going to lead to what a lot of people know is going to come, which is going to be a split of that group. But I think a split of that group could also come with Jacob Fatu winning the title and then him like, well, who is the tribal chief now? You know, that whole thing. So I got to go with the winner, Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't know. LA Knight had a great run, but they just haven't done much of anything with him that has really worked. It just seems like he just kind of stalled out somewhere, you know. So he just doesn't
so hard.
Yes, he did. He peaked extremely hard, and then he just I don't know. He just fizzled out. So I see, and right now Fatu is just probably one of the hottest things going right now. So I think I agree with that.
Now, speaking of that, just quickly, I've been hearing these rumblings. I can't remember the name now, as I just saw it, and I even saw, he was a guy who it's a short name. There's some guy who is going to be debuting in WWE at some point. Like, it's not Joe Eby, no, it's
Jeff Cobb.
Jeff Cobb, that's it. Jeff Cobb. He is a monster.
Yes, he is.
He seems very much like him, and I've heard one rumbling about a faction being started with Jacob Fatu, Jeff Cobb, and Bronson Reed when Bronson Reed comes back, which would be just crazy.
Correct. Yeah, that would be. I would be good with that.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I would be good with that. Okay, now this will be a fun one.
Oh, you picked Jacob Fatu, right?
Yes. Yeah, I went with Jacob. I went with Jacob as well.
Yeah.
All right, now this is the fun one for this night. Tiffy time versus Charlotte.
Oh boy. Well, the heel in me really wants to pick Charlotte because she's hated so much. That's what heel heat is about. They would, if Charlotte wins that match, the whole city, the whole state of Nevada is gonna be hearing the booing.
Yeah.
But I just don't think it's gonna happen. I think it's Tiffy time.
I think it's Tiffy time.
Gotta be Tiffy time, and I gotta pick Tiffany Stratton, even though I'm reluctant. I am cheering for her too. So
yes, yeah. I don't think Charlotte's done any favors for herself since she came back. With her winning the Rumble, that was very much like when Batista won it some years ago.
Yeah.
There's probably been a couple of other, when Roman won it in Philly, and he was pretty, even The Rock couldn't save him from getting booed out of the building. Yeah. And everything Charlotte has done since then, it's like the crowd just doesn't care. And right. and I think it was Stevie Richards I saw make a point about this. If I just it does make me wonder if fans have just gotten so sick and tired of hearing about Ric Flair's shenanigans, personal shenanigans, and they're just taking it out on her. That they're just done with hearing the Flair name, and they just don't want to deal with that anymore. So maybe Charlotte's just getting the brunt of that. But I would hate for them to go with, well, this will surpass her daddy's title count or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Please, God, no.
Yeah.
And
that would be annoying.
And then let's talk about that promo. with those two.
Well, it was obviously pointed out by many people that it went way off script.
Way off script.
And to be honest, if I'm looking at that promo honestly, the Tiffy was better at it than Charlotte was. That's the way I looked at it, at least.
Yeah.
Like when it got personal, she was better at getting personal. Like that's what I thought.
Yep, because as soon as Charlotte said, well, why is Kaiser in my DMs? There was not one person in Chicago that was going to believe that for a second.
Exactly. Yeah.
And if she suddenly meant to turn Kaiser face, she probably just did a very good job of doing such.
That's right.
But yeah, the fact they went so far off script that when you see WWE videos, clips, that part ain't in it.
Yeah, it's true.
that got cut out. So
that's when something it was not in their hands. It's like when people jump into the ring, like when fans jump into the ring, whatever. Like when they re-show that, they always cut that out. They don't let you see that. They don't want that to be seen ever. So
correct. Correct. So. Yeah, and I've never been a Charlotte fan. I just have never been able to get behind her. I just can't. I don't know why.
Even when she was a face, and okay, I mean, I've always liked the heels, and that. But even when she was a face, I looked at her like, you're annoying, even as a face.
Mm-hmm.
So it's better for you to be a heel, but it doesn't. But I don't know. I'm with you. There's always been something I didn't like about her. I don't know what it is.
So, all right. So let's move on to the first of the world title matches for the men. Gunther versus Jey Uso.
Well, I'm going to be short and sweet on this. Number one, I believe this is going to be the first match of the night. And number two, I believe that Jey Uso is going to win, has to win, must win. Obviously, Gunther is 10,000 times better and actually deserves it more. Mm-hmm. But, okay, they've already done the thing with Gunther where he keeps the belt for 9 years or whatever. They've already done that aspect, so they don't need to do that again.
Right.
And, I mean, obviously, you want to start off a night of with the fans excited, and the best way to get them excited is to get a Jey Uso win, so all these people go yeet yeet yeet, and then you just move on with the rest of the night.
Las Vegas will be yeeting all over themselves. I've been going back and forth with this. My gut says they're going to give it to Jey, but my heart says I think Gunther's going to retain, and he'll go 4-0, and then that'll be it. But I kind of agree. I think Jay's going to figure out what to do and get it right. So
I think Jey Uso is going to get his head beat in for 15 minutes.
Well, yeah,
and then somehow that's what I think is going to happen. But who knows?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the underdog with this one. I think Jay's going to finally get his moment, and he's going to do it. But my thing is, since he won the Rumble, I don't know. Other than this whole thing back and forth with Gunther, I can't totally say that I feel like I've really been behind Jay about it. It just seems they've made it only about that. They've not really given him enough else to work with leading up to it. So I don't know.
It's window candy.
It's window candy. Yes.
It's crazy. Nah.
So I'll go with Jay because I think he'll finally figure out what he needs to do. Hopefully Jimmy won't turn on him again.
So far, I will only have one that we were different on, right? I think
correct. Yes. So far one. Now this could be this. Now this is the main event of night one.
Yes.
This is what my buddy Chase calls the Paul Heyman on a pole match.
Okay. Yeah.
CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins. Paul Heyman's got to be in CM Punk's corner as the whole favor thing worked out.
Yep.
And now Seth's got some kind of crazy favor going on. So, yeah. So, what do we think about this one?
Well, I found it interesting. I did watch the last match on Raw, or the incident on Raw, whatever it was. With Seth Rollins standing all by himself after 2 curb stomps, and I found that a little surprising. But I went back and forth, and forth and back, and all over the place with the 3 competitors. I'll be surprised if Roman Reigns wins this match. I will not be surprised if CM Punk or Seth Rollins win this match.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say this. Everyone's going to be concerned about Paul Heyman. Is he with CM Punk, or is he with Roman Reigns? Well, there's a third option. Yeah. I think Paul Heyman is going to side with Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins takes the win. Sometimes now Seth Rollins is really kind of going back and forth like a fiddler's needle with the heel face, but that's his character. It is. So I have no choice but to say a prediction of Seth Rollins winning that match.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm very undecided. I'm with you. I don't think it's going to be Roman. I don't think he's going to come away with this. But what you say here makes a lot of sense.
Seems to make sense.
I think Seth walks out of it, but I also like Punk weighing it too. And I think that will set up for something that'll happen in night 2.
Really?
I think.
That's interesting.
So
involving what? Like something completely different than any match that's on night 2?
Well, yeah, let's just say we can't see the possibility of this happening, but I don't know if, because here again, think about the Cena-Cody match.
Yep.
What if Cena wins that thing?
Yep.
He had a big rival in Punk.
Yeah.
It's possible. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I
don't know where they'll go with that. I'll never know where they'll go with that. I personally think Seth's going to probably pull it off, but I think my heart really wants to hear like Mussolini and Kennedy. I'll try to sing it better than Cornette can. I kind of want to see Punk win it because I think that would just be the big career highlight for him. But I think my heart says it's going to be Rollins, and like you say, I think Paul Heyman might just be walking out with him. But yeah,
I guess.
So that's kind of where I'm going to go with that. So
you were picking Rollins too. So we still
we're still
one difference.
Only one difference. Yes.
That's very interesting.
Yes.
Very interesting.
All right. So night 2. Now, again, we were supposed to get Kevin Owens versus RKO versus Randy Orton. Yeah. Of course, KO's got this neck injury. He's out.
Yeah.
Sami Zayn's out because God only knows what's going on with him when he's coming back. So, so I know they've been teasing a lot of possibilities. Maybe Solo Sikoa, maybe Nick Aldis might get back in the ring. I guess we'll just have to wait for SmackDown to see what happens there. So, or will Randy Orton inject him in one of these other matches? Who knows? He could play a role in another match, but we'll get to that. Night 2, the first on the list they mentioned here was the women's tag match for the belts. Liv and Raquel versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyria.
Now I know you don't like Liv Morgan. I do like Liv Morgan. But I have to say, I don't see any reason for Liv Morgan and
Raquel
Rodriguez to lose this match.
Me either.
They've been on too much of a roll. I think it would hurt the character. The role that their character is on would be hurt by a loss here. So I have no choice but to make a pretty clear pick of Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez.
Yeah, I don't see Bayley and Lyra pulling this one off either. I don't know. I'm still I still feel like a lot of that's still kind of thrown together a little bit. So I just feel like that's going to lead to a Bayley Lyra thing. I think, they'll go off for that belt. I think that's where that's going to go. So as much as I'm not a big fan of Liv, I'm also really not a big fan of Bayley either, but that's another story.
I do like Bayley, and I got a question for you on that.
Okay.
Wouldn't you say that they've kind of botched up her face turn a bit? Like, it's made me miss the heel Bayley because she just has nothing special being faced now.
No, she's not. She still has the heel tendencies, but she's not the hugger Bayley like originally.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just have never been able to get behind her. I've never been able to get behind any of the 4 horsewomen personally. Really? I've never been a fan of. I've never really been a fan of any of them. Maybe Becky. If I liked any of them, Becky to a point. But I was never. I've never been a Sasha fan.
Yeah, I didn't like Sasha.
Never been a Sasha fan, and I really don't care for her in AEW. And Charlotte, I've never been a fan of. And I don't know. For me, Bayley, I think in the early days, I think she just showed how she was too injury prone for me, and because she was injury prone there for a while.
She's by far my favorite of the four horsewomen.
Yeah, I mean
Bayley.
I mean, again, there was something about Becky that I was kind of better with, but even then, I wasn't. I kind of got over her too. But
Becky's for me, I believe in Bayley. I just the rest. Yeah, never a huge fan.
Yeah,
can't disagree. Oh, and you're saying yes on the.
I'm going with the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
I'm going with the Judgment Day. So, all right, this could be a 50-50. AJ Styles versus Logan Paul.
I guess you could only say that when a wrestling fan like me, who hates heels, who loves heels.
Mm-hmm.
And like Logan Paul either makes me, he's so much of a heel that I cross over and I just start to hate him, or it's just that I don't think he deserves like the spot he's in. And Logan Paul is all of the other, all his other stuff outside of wrestling. He doesn't need a win here, but AJ Styles is one of the best ever.
Yeah,
and it's been a couple years now of him kind of meandering on. I think he very much deserves a win here, and I just cannot pick Logan Paul, and I won't.
Yeah. I'm more of an AJ fan myself. Although I will admit I did get to see Logan at SummerSlam. However, back in 2022, and he had a very impressive match against The Miz. I thought that, he's impressive to watch. But I still think AJ needs his moment. And he's getting to the end of his career, and I think he needs that. I think he needs that. So I think he's going to show that he's. Although I don't know, I guess you could say he had a moment against, with the Undertaker's last match. But but I don't know. I guess I'm kind of the same way. I feel like I just want to see I want to see AJ take it. So
yep, same here. We agree there.
There we go. So okay, so now we have a fatal 4-way for the Intercontinental belt, and we're looking at, of course, the champion Braun Breaker, Finn Balor, Penta, and Dominic Mysterio.
For what belt? It's the Intercontinental.
The Intercontinental belt, yeah. Yeah, because LA Knight's the U.S. champ.
Yeah. Well, I have no choice but to just very clearly say it's Dom time, baby.
Ooh.
He, again, now this is opposite of the heel thing with Logan Paul. Dom has found a way to be the biggest heel in the company, but people still respect him.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I mean by that? Like, somehow he's hated so much, but they love when he's on camera, and it's just the way it is. And I think it's time. I don't think has he ever had the Intercontinental belt?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I think it's just time for him to finally get that belt. And as a matter of fact, I also think it's quite possible that he screws Finn Balor out of winning it and pins Finn Balor, and that leads to either a Judgment Day split or a complete disbandment of the Judgment Day.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. There's just so much possibility for chicanery going on with this one. This really could go. This could go. I feel like I should pull some Steiner math out here and say that Braun's got 25% of winning, but when you're Braun Breaker, you're 100% on it, and that's 125%, and the other guys only have negative 25% chance of winning. Wow, I just came up with that. I don't know. I would like to see Braun win personally, because I think I just want to see him keep spearing Dom? No, not Dom. Carlito. Good Lord, that spear he did to Carlito the other week.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think I mentioned this to you before. I can't remember. I don't think I have. But pre-pandemic, I went to a wrestling event in Kitchener here, in like this crappy low ceiling, the Alpine Club, just crappy wrestling, and Carlito was there.
Oh my.
I mean, that's how low Carlito
wow.
went. And somehow, I got to give him credit. Somehow he worked his way all the way back to the WWE at some point. This would have been somewhere around maybe 10 years ago, maybe 8 years ago, something like that.
Oh, it's
kind of neat.
When he came out during that Bad Bunny and Damian Priest match at Bad Blood, and when it was in Puerto Rico, man, when he came out for that pop was humongous.
Oh yeah, well his father was Carlos Colon.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So a huge
legend.
In the country. Yeah.
Legend. Yeah, we won't go too deeply into the Colon wrestling with all the shenanigans that happens with Puerto Rican wrestling, but But I don't know. I think I really have to agree with you. I think Dominic could take this. I think there's going to be a lot of, like I said, a lot of chicanery going on for him to get it, and that's going to be very typical of a Judgment Day type of thing. But I hope it doesn't turn into a total spot fest, because you do have Penta in there, and that can just go all over the place. But I think this is going to be a very solid match.
I do too.
As much as I would love to see Braun retain it, because I think he's just really a good champion,
He is.
I have a feeling that they're going to find ways of prolonging the Dominic and Liv era.
Yeah.
And so
it's just too easy to see the next night on Raw. Yeah, they are on Raw, right? Not SmackDown.
Yes, they're on Raw.
I can see the Raw after WrestleMania. It just seems to make sense that Liv and Dom would come up both holding belts. It just seems right. I don't know.
Seems right, and I'm sure the Las Vegas crowd will let them have it.
Yep, as they should.
Okay, so the next we have a Sin City street fight with Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre.
Oh boy! Now
two big men slapping man meat, as they say on What Talk.
Yeah. Now this might be not a popular take, but I think this has the potential to be the worst match of the weekend. Okay. I'm a little bored of both guys. I'm just a little bored. I don't really have any dog in the fight in any way for either of them to win, for either of them to lose. I'm going to go with Drew McIntyre because I think he deserves it more for all the stuff he's done for the company in the last couple of years. So I got to go Drew McIntyre. That's the only reason why I'm saying it. It just seems like he deserves it.
Drew's my man. He's been my guy. I had the honor of going to a DDP yoga event where they got a bunch of success stories together. This was like 2018, I think it was. And I was just sitting outside, just yakking with some other people. And all of a sudden, out of this car comes Drew McIntyre.
Nice.
And I'm wearing, and I think this was like he injured himself at NXT back then. So he was still rehabbing that and entered that arm. So he'd gone to DDP Yoga and was doing some stuff with him at the PC there. And I was wearing a Wasp t-shirt.
Big shock.
Go figure. And he saw me and he saw my shirt. He said, that's a good, nice set, nice Wasp set. And I saw them back in Belfast back in whatever, like 1997, or I was like 15, 16 years old. And I was like,
that's awesome.
Got a picture with him later on. It was actually,
cool.
we were doing a workout with DDP himself. And he put us through this crazy one. It was essentially one of these like really challenging ones. And he said, I'm thinking of calling this Living in the Red Zone. I'm like, uh-oh. And what that means is red zone means you're above your fat burning zone for the most part. So that was, and it was, I bet I have the screenshot of whatever my heart rate was and my calorie burn that was, but Drew was in that workout room too that night. That was a lot of fun, but cool. No, Drew's always been my man. When Damian Priest won that Money in the Bank, I shook my head. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Damian, he did nothing. He never did anything for me.
Yeah,
the only time I ever popped. Well, no, he really didn't have anything to do with it. That was Edge. Never mind.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I really liked him a lot.
No, I just have never been into him.
Yeah,
I just never got into him. Okay, we have the women's match for the belt with Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair.
Well, I mentioned it earlier. With the Bianca, they're putting all the stock in Bianca because I know Bianca is going to be a part of something in night one, and obviously she's in a big match in night two. So I just can't see them not putting the belt on what I believe is going to be a very clear heel Bianca, where Rhea's not a heel right now. And I don't think Io would be in any way looked at as a heel right now. So I could just see. I don't know. It seems to make the most sense. Why are you making Bianca such a priority to be on both nights in that way? It's gotta. I have to pick Bianca.
Yeah. They have this whole thing, in my opinion, has just Io Sky has literally just been an afterthought. She's like the little kid on the playground that all the big kids are pushing off to the side. They want nothing to do with, but yet she's the champ. Okay.
Yeah.
And I said, well, Rhea lost the belt because she acted like the way Charlotte said she would be. She still was. She said she was still acting like a little child. She was, impulsive thinking, impulsive decisions, and all these different things. And you kept seeing these kind of things play out with Rhea, and then of course, then that dissipated and Rhea decided to become the badass that we all know that she is. But it's like, it just became more personal between her and Bianca. But it's like, wait a second, I'm the champion, you two. Hello. Not to use a Bailey line, but it's just like, I'm the champ. You got to beat me.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot more potential for Bianca to win with feuds, especially if if the things with Naomi and Jade dissipate. But they're on SmackDown, so so it's I don't know.
There's also going to be a draft probably soon too.
Well, that's true. So I think the chances for a more believable feud would come out of a Bianca or Rhea win, really. But I think Rhea's had that. She defended it for a long time. She just dropped the ball with Io. I think as much as I love Io and I love Asuka and I love Kairi Sane and I even like the one that was in NXT that they dropped the ball with and now is in TNA. I can't even remember, Xia Lin. I liked her too, and they just dropped the ball with all of them in my opinion. But I think I'm with you on this one. I don't see Rhea walking out with the belt this time.
I don't think so. I just don't. And another thing with this match, I thought of it because of Io Sky. What about Kairi Sane? What about Dakota Kai? Like, why are these people not involved? Injured. I don't get it.
Injured.
Both? Oh, I didn't know Dakota was.
I believe so. Yeah. I
really like her.
I do too. I do too. She has just been extremely injury prone.
And we were talking about it before we started the stream. Chelsea Green. What's going on there? I don't understand that.
Why is Chelsea not involved? And
I don't get it.
I don't either. But all right. Well, that brings us to the big kahunas, the big one.
Yeah.
John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. A match that I didn't see on my bingo card at the beginning of 2025.
No, I don't think a lot of people did.
And I certainly
sense.
No, but then that heel turn.
Yeah, and I love it. I mean, it's my favorite John Cena era ever. It'd be just because I love the heels, and I've never truly loved John Cena. I've always respected him, but there's so many little things. First of all, where's The Rock? We haven't seen The Rock at all since that heel turn. There's no way he's not gonna. Like, why would they make such a big deal about Cody? You gotta give me my soul, or I gotta give me your soul and all that. What was the point of all that if Rock just has nothing to do with anything anymore? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Travis Scott, what's going on there? I've heard even something about that there's a possibility of another wrestler going heel and joining The Rock as the third guy or something, and I don't know who knows what's coming. I really don't know. Maybe Randy Orton.
Could be Randy Orton. It could even be Seth Rollins. It could even be, who knows? Yeah, maybe Brock Lesnar will show up out of nowhere.
Interesting. That's
although I don't think so. I'm hearing people. I'm hearing a lot of people saying that he's probably retiring now. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think that lawsuit and thing is going on for a while now. You're not going to be seeing Brock Lesnar. You just said just no way.
Yeah, no.
How can you not pick John Cena to win this? I mean, Cody Rhodes doesn't need to win this match. He's the most popular wrestler in the world.
Mm-hmm.
He could lose 10 matches in a row, and it wouldn't alter his character one bit.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you're gonna go to all this trouble, all this Cena trouble, all this Cena merch, everything, Cena has to win. Like, how could I can't even think of picking anything else because there's no other reason. I can't even think of a reason that they wouldn't have him win.
And especially when you look to see what where Cena's next appearances are. So let's see. I want to see if I can find this somewhere. There's somewhere I saw a post where it listed all his next dates, and he's actually listed for the next bunch of dates after WrestleMania.
Are you talking about Raw or house shows?
I think Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views, Saturday Night Main Event. You know, I don't think he's doing house stuff, but I think this will be just TV appearances. You know, and he's like, you know, all through May for sure. I forget about April, but I have seen somewhere where there is it lists what his next dates are for like throughout the summer, and he's got a number of them coming up. So part of me kind of thinks, well, maybe they will go Cena, but yeah, I don't. I'm not a Cena fan either, but I would be very, very shocked if Cody won this one. I really do. You talk about continuing the story.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. This it would be doing the opposite of that.
Yeah,
and so I have no choice but to pick Cena.
Yeah. So yeah, it looks like we pretty much agree on just about everything here. I think there was only one match you and I didn't agree on. So
which was what?
Which was the tag team, the War Raiders and New Day.
New Day. Wow, I can't believe we had the same pick in every other match. It's crazy.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, I just can't see anything different happening out of all this. So
either it's we really know what the hell we're talking about, or
we're completely full of it.
Obviously, we don't have a clue what is going to happen. One of the two is going to happen there. Yeah.
So something's going to happen. So who knows? But tune in Monday night, y'all, and see how we did, and see how much we got right. But
we are doing the recap show Monday night at 7, correct?
Correct. Yeah, 7 Eastern, 6 Central. We'll get it in before the Raw, the after WrestleMania Raw, which that's usually known to be a raucous time. You can usually see all kinds of people showing up out of nowhere, and
yeah, who knows? And there's been talk of a lot of like Bronson Reed.
I don't know about Bronson. I think he's going to be. I think his injury is going to keep him out for a little while yet.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I don't think he's going to be. I don't know his timeline, but I don't think he's going to be back for a while. I think he did some pretty severe damage to himself when he did that splash.
It's crazy, yeah.
But so who knows? But we'll see. Maybe he has Superman powers in those bones, and maybe he'll come back a little quicker. But there's so many people that are not on the card. But in some ways, I'm almost kind of thankful, because I think about like what AEW does, and I think about that last Wembley show where I think it was when Punk was still champion, and then he took on Joe.
Yeah.
And there was like 4 or 5 pre-show matches and then all these other matches. I counted up how many talents were actually on the bill for that card, and it was something like well over 100 wrestlers on that entire card.
Why?
And I thought, oh my gosh, why? I mean, okay, I know you got a stacked roster, but good God Almighty, I mean, it's just too much.
Yeah,
way too much.
That's kind of like the one thing I was talking about it with somebody about how albums, like as soon as the CD age came in, it was like, oh, we can put 80 minutes. Well, let's do it. Well, that doesn't mean it's a good thing. It doesn't mean that that it's a great album now.
Nope.
Now half the album might be good. Now 3/4 of the album might be good. But it's hard to make what people call one of the best albums of all time when you're just filling and filling and filling to fill.
Yep.
It's very much like with wrestling. Like, you don't need to see all these matches.
No, I mean, it's if everybody just is doing it because they want to get their stuff in, to show off to show themselves off and whatever. Okay, but you still got to have the story to go with it, and you still have to have a purpose for it. And when you have a 10-man tag team match, why? All you're doing is just everybody getting their little bits in. There's nothing to tell in the match. Correct me if I'm wrong out there, people, but it just doesn't make sense to me. So I don't know. That's kind of why I'm glad they kind of split the nights up with WWE with this WrestleMania thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
great idea.
Otherwise, this would have been 6-7 hours long.
Exactly. And even if they shortened it and it was, let's say it was 4 or 5 hours long, okay, that's still too much for the, first of all, like the people at the show. After 3 hours, they're burnt out.
Yes, they're tired.
So it was a really good idea to do the 2-night thing. But the weird thing is, I don't know. I read something about supposedly there's a lot of tickets that are left for WrestleMania, and it's because of the prices, supposedly.
Maybe, yeah, and I mean, I just realized this like a couple of weeks ago. It's Easter weekend.
Yeah,
I mean, not that they probably would care in Las Vegas, but I mean, Easter weekend, really? I mean, I remember the early days of Survivor Series being on Thanksgiving night, but man, Easter weekend, that's just, to me, is really unusual that they would do that. But
WrestleMania Sunday is Easter Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. That is weird. I never thought about that. That is different. Why would they have made it that weekend?
I don't know. But I agree. I mean, some of the tickets are just getting so expensive out there, and it just, not everybody's got that kind of money, and I guess now with the current culture of whatever's going on in the world, which I have nothing to say about it. I don't know. I'm not getting involved in it, and I don't want to talk about any of that. Who knows? Maybe it's just tougher times for folks. I don't know, but who knows? I did read something about that. This is probably going to be one of the lowest attended WrestleMania since like 22.
Yeah, it's because of the ticket prices.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I saw was that WrestleMania 19, which is interesting because the only WrestleMania that I've seen live was WrestleMania 18.
Mm-hmm.
But what it said was WrestleMania 19, a ringside seat was $400. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
WrestleMania 41, $400 is the nosebleed.
Yes.
And it's $25,000 for ringside seats.
Yes. Yeah. And that's if you get both nights or something, or, you get some of these crazy packages that they had. I have a good friend of mine who we go to wrestling stuff all the time. And, she bought the tickets for SummerSlam a couple of years ago. And, granted, our seats were, when we looked directly to our left, that's where the wrestlers came out. Yeah. So we were like right about that front row, but we could see the wrestlers coming out. We could see all the other fun stuff that they were doing production wise. But I mean, you couldn't see the ring. You had to look at the screens for that. And the way they set those up, it's the way that the ring and all the lighting is set up. It makes it hard to really see far back unless you are looking at the screens. And it took a little bit away from the event for me.
I can see that.
Especially when one of the matches that, they have these bright lights. And I think during one of the matches, you literally could hear the crowd saying, turn that light off, turn that light off.
Really?
It's crazy because it was just so bright. It was just like a huge spotlight. But man, I mean, if you're looking direct at it, you'd be blinded. So
Wow.
that's why as much as I love wrestling, I could never see myself going to a WrestleMania unless somebody was able to get me a floor seat or a ringside seat where I could see the ring well. If I got to be up in the nosebleeds, forget it.
Well,
I'll just sit at home on Peacock and watch it on my phone.
I remember seeing a picture of you wearing a Grab a Stack of Rock shirt at a SmackDown, and you were right there. We
were up front.
You were right there. Now, what did you pay for those? That wasn't
again.
That long ago.
My wrestling buddy has blessed me with treating me like a little brother. So, and she's in a position where she gets these crazy ringside seats, and that's what we do.
That's cool.
But so I have no idea, and I don't ask, and she don't tell. So,
like she's not missing an arm and a leg.
Well, maybe, but
Okay.
but no, I'm very thankful because I mean it's again our spouses don't do wrestling, and we go and we just have a lot of fun together, and so it's we always just have a great time, and it's like I said, it's like a brother sister thing. But yeah, we've had a lot of fun with those in Birmingham. But the Grab a Stack of Rock shirt I've worn. I wore a Contrarian shirt once. I've been known to wear some interesting T-shirts just to plug something kind of cool for folks. But I had to do the Grab a Stack of Rock for Mike because
that's cool.
Mike, 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 we love you, brother. And the social media algorithms have just been absolutely horrible to him, and I just hate that for him. So,
what do you mean by that? I'm curious.
Oh, he's trying to, when we try to share videos like this, and the Facebook groups and all that kind of crap, they do all these. You either get banned for oversharing or Facebook flags you for all this nonsense, and it's like, really, give me a break. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's to a point where I'm like, I'm just happy just to have fun and just yak with folks. But you want to get some views for your shows, and I get that. But anyway, the algorithms have not been very nice to Mike, and I feel awful for him. So for all of you who do decide to watch this, I am doing a show with Mike on Friday, this coming Friday.
On Good Friday.
So I am doing something with him.
Cool.
And then I'll be back with him next week on the 25th. So I wanted to get that plug in for Mike, so he'll appreciate that.
Right
so, Meat, this has been great.
Awesome.
Like I said, we'll see Monday what how good we did, and let's see how many Dust to finishes we can throw in there, brother. Daddy.
Many.
I'm sure Dust is gonna have a lot of say in some of these finishes now. I believe it. Take my hand.
That's awesome.
Grab onto my hand. Hard times, Daddy. All right, y'all, tell us what you think about these predictions. Let's hear what you guys got to say.
Yeah.
We'll be back Monday, and we'll talk some more. So, y'all, for Uncle Meat Hardy, John Cloud's Johnny Metal, the Meltdance, and Rock Forever. Whoa! Let's have some fun with some WrestleMania, folks. Take care, everybody.
Rock. All right. Done.